Hi, it's Chris Amori, and today I want to give you a little bit of insight on the changes in what's new in Kaseya 9.3. I only want to talk about a couple of areas. There's four main sections I think that need attention. The first one is the changes that were made to the agent module. We'll cover those first. Then I want to talk about the exciting new Live Connect project. This is the module that's completely replacing Live Connect in the system. And then we'll talk about the changes to Kaseya antivirus, the CAM module, and the corresponding changes to the KAV or KAM, the anti-malware, the Malwarebytes module. All right, so without further ado, let's get in and show you a little bit about the agent module. So the first thing that you're going to notice is that the agent module has kind of a new look and feel to it, a little more modern design. And you've also going to probably notice that there's a bunch of menu options that are missing from over here on the left-hand side. If we pull down this is the old 6.2 module, and you'll notice that the agent status, which is kind of one of our favorite, landing points, has been replaced with the manage agents. And a number of these different options here, rename and change group, have been removed, and they've all been incorporated in this manage agents. What they've tried to do is to give you the ability to do a lot of the day-to-day tasks without having to keep changing menu options. So that's really kind of a cool thing. So if we look at this, you'll notice that up here at the top we have a manage button, and as we highlight one or more agents, that manage button is highlighted. And now we can do things like update the agent from here. We can delete agents. We can do the rename, change the group that they're in, change the working directory setting, and we can even suspend and resume, all from that one menu option. You can even just right-click on it and get access to these different options at the top as well. So basically, that's a big change. Hopefully, it's going to make it easier for you to kind of bounce around and do things. You also have the ability to set your credentials. So you can set and test and clear credentials right from this menu. That used to be an option also down there at the bottom. The other exciting thing is this introduction of column sets. So we've got over here on the right, we've got a column set. This is one that I created, so I can clear that. And I'll show you just sort of the default column set that you'll come up with. Here we go. So this is probably what you're seeing right now. Just a few different things. It's basically the default column set. And what you can do is you can go in and you can create your own column sets. Just click on the new button, and then you can add and change the columns that you want to see. So then when you want to use those column sets, you just simply click on it, and it'll bring it right up. You saw how fast that loaded. So you notice over here on the left, I seem to have left off the status button, right? The little icon. So I just want to show you how to edit it. So we're going to basically edit that column set. It edits the one that you're working on. And I'm going to take that online, and I'm just going to drag and drop it over here. So basically very easy to just drag things over to the left or use the buttons. You can also use select multiple things by highlighting something, holding the shift key, and then dragging or using the arrow button to move it over. So I'll go ahead and save that now that I've got my status key back in there. And you'll see when it comes up here, there's my nice little status button. All right, so that's pretty cool. The other thing that I wanted to show you is this little gear. This is another new addition, very helpful. This is sort of a quick report. You can set it to export. You can export either everything that is selected or that's on the screen or part of the view, or you can just highlight certain agents and have it export. So if you just hit all, what it's going to do is it's going to just dump it out into a file that's a CSV file, and then that file can be clicked on and it'll load up Excel, and you can just open it up with Excel, and you've got a nice little quick report that you might be able to use to show to a customer. Previously we would have had to jump over to Info Center and create like an aggregate table report or something like that. So this should be a nice feature just to help you do some quick tasks, get a quick report out of it. Okay, so now let me show you the live demo of the Live Connect, the new Hydra product. So many of you, you've probably worked with the old Live Connect, right? The old Live Connect, we hit the click, hold the shift key or the control key down, and we click the icon and we get into the Live Connect. And if you remember, it's been plagued with plugin issues for probably over a year now. Google stopped supporting the plugin, so now we were down to Firefox or IE. Firefox has been sort of buggy over the time, so really IE sadly was the best solution for that, but most of us use other things. So in my humble opinion, this module is the crown jewel of this release. I think you're going to find that you're going to use this quite a bit, and it's going to be a great tool for your help desk people. People that are just sitting behind the computer all day, because they can actually work inside of this new Live Connect to accomplish almost everything. In fact, I'm going to show you in a little bit. There's a couple of ways of accessing it. One of them is just by logging in directly. So let's get into it and start showing you how it works. So we're back to the menu here. Let me make that screen a little bit bigger for you. So let's say that we want to load Live Connect. So what we're going to do is we're going to hover over the icon and we're going to wait for the quick view screen to come up. And sometimes this can take a few seconds, so be patient. Once it comes up, you'll see that there is the Live Connect option. So you don't want to use the remote control. That's just like we did before with the remote control. We want to click on Live Connect, and that's going to launch a brand new application. Now, the first time you do this, you're going to need to download and install that, okay? So download and install the app. You may even have to restart your browser, right? But it should be a one-time thing. This is already, it says it couldn't find it, but it really did. It's up here in another window. All right, so let me get this moved over here a little bit for you. All right, there we go. So the first thing you notice about this is it's a pretty modern looking design. This is all based on Google's material design. So they're using different menu options and icons, like the stack bar is sort of a menu option. And this is an exit button, and you're going to see like the stacked dots is a more indicator. The funnel shape is like a filter button. So these things are all pretty standard, and they're following kind of Google's way of doing things. It's a very nice design. So across the very top, you see we have the name of the computer, the operating system, the time zone that they're in, and then their processor and RAM. Right, very quick selection. We have our thumbnail that we had before. It was a little bit bigger here, so that's nice. We've got a little memory and CPU indicator. We can see the drives that they have, and it'll be yellow and red if they're kind of full. On the second line, we have a bunch of agent procedures that you can have, some like default procedures that you can set up. We had this in the quick view. We had this as well. This other box is the top 5, either the processes that are running. So right now we're looking at the top processes in terms of CPU. Or if we click this, it will give us the top processes in terms of memory consumption. So we just click this little button. We're looking at memory right now. We click it again, and we now have CPU. And then we scroll down to the next line. We've got a little bit of user information. There's not much entered there. We have the last 5 system events that were on the machine. And then way at the bottom, we've got a little bit of network information. All right, so that's just sort of your default screen, but there's a lot more here. So along the left-hand side, you see all these icons. And if you're not sure what they mean, then just use the little stack line graph, and it will give you the names for it, right? Or you should be able to hover over it. Yep, there it goes, remote control, asset, etc. So let's start up here at the top, and let's go through this asset, because this was the asset summary. So if we click on this, you can see we're at the asset summary, but there's a lot of other data that's available. So we have something called like asset info. So asset info is kind of like the old audit that we had from the other system with all this different information in there, that you can kind of look up about what's in that machine, if it pulls up that data. So then we can go, if we click on this again, we can look at documents, are those documents that get loaded, the log viewer, so you can view some of the logs that are on the machine, the alarm log. I see this error a lot, just ignore it. Hopefully they'll patch that, but it doesn't seem to bother anything. So, alarm, the agent log, the alarm log, the monitor log, the remote control logs are there for you. The patch status, okay, so you can kind of see what's going on with patching. And there's a lot of pretty neat things here. If you notice along the top here, we've got some more icons, right? So this is a select all button, so we can basically select all these different patches that are right now these are missing, but they're missing because they were denied. We could click this little icon, we'll hide all the patches that have not been applied that have been approved, and you see right now there are none on this machine. So the only ones that are missing are the ones that we have applied. Let's say you do want to install that one, so you can highlight highlight this silver light, and you can go up here and you'll see now there's a schedule, so we could actually schedule and install that patch right from here. All right, and you can get a history of what's happened from there. Well, we can look at procedures. So on the procedure tab, you'll be able to see the history of what has run, the logs, the pending procedures. One of the nice things about the pending procedures is you can see that if there's a procedure there, you can delete it, or you can run it right now, or even reschedule it right from here. You can go up to the top and you can tell it to schedule a new procedure. And then on the run button, the run actually allows you to run a procedure right from here. So it brings up at first the list of all the procedures that are on the system. So the easiest thing to do would be to use your filter button. And let's say I wanted to run our 2016 Flash up, or I'm sorry, Java. I could just type that in, and then I could select that, and then hit the green button and install it right from here. Okay. So there's a lot of different options. We've spent a lot of time really just talking about this asset tab. So take some time and explore through. We'll go through some more, but seems to be the biggest one. On the software one, we have the add remove programs, the installed applications, your licenses, and your startup. And then the last one there is the user list. Okay, get a list of users. Okay. So that was all just that asset tab. So remote control. So when you click on the remote control tab, which you're bound to do, right? You can do that right from here. Remember that the shared session is a shared session. You are sharing the desktop with a user, so the user can see everything that you're doing. The private session is like an RDP session. It doesn't just black out the screen. It actually kicks them out and logs you in. Okay, just like what if you tried to RDP into the machine. So if you want to do a shared session, just simply click on it and it will run the remote control session. Same as before, you've got your little keyboard to do the control delete up in the corner, and then you can type your password and you can get into it. Okay. So if we go back, go back to our menu here. Let's go down to this one. So files. This is the file menu. So on the file menu, you get a list of all your drives. All right, so let's say I want to transfer a file from that machine, or put a file to that machine. I can click on the C drive. Let's go to the K working directory, and let's say I need this backup agent text file. So if I need that file, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to download that file. Okay, so it's going to download it, and you can tell it where you want to put it. So let's just say I want to put it in the download folder. Select the folder, and it will download that folder for us. If I need to push something up to the machine, I can use this upload button, and I can go over here, and then I can select a file to upload and just say open, and it will push it up into the machine. Okay, so when it's transferred, you're going to see it listed. I can't remember the name of it, but it's hiding there someplace. You also have the ability to create new folders inside this directory. And again, looking at the stacked dots, you can download, delete, move, make a copy, or rename something. So it's really useful for bringing files, moving files back and forth. Okay. This next one is the command prompt. So you have a command prompt window, so you can run a number of different things that you could run at a command prompt. This is the services. So we have the ability to see all of the services that are running on that machine. And again, not only can we see them and see their status, but remember the dots over here. We have the ability to stop a service, restart a service, disable the service, or set the the startup to be manual. All right, all from that menu option. Going hand in hand with the services are the processes. So you can see all of the processes that are running there. And again, we can stop or end a process if we need to, so that you can kind of see what see what's happening. And you can click on the column and basically sort it so that you can see what's consuming most of the CPU there, right? So there's not much going on this machine. The registry. So we have a complete registry editor. Again, just nice drill down. HKey local machine software. Go to Microsoft, etc. Just drill down and get to what you want. When you find what you're looking for, you can click the button here to modify the value. You can create a new key if you need to, but it'll give you the ability to actually look and edit the registry. And moving down the list, the event log viewer. So if you want to take a look at some of the event logs, here's the event logs that have data. These are not just the event logs that we collect. These are the actual live event logs on the machine. And so you can kind of scroll through the application log, and then if you want to look up something, you can hit this little plus sign. I guess will show you more information, the full information on it. And then if you click on the event ID, it will do a Google search for you to find that that event. All right. And let me get back to the right window there. There we go. So we got that, and let's see what else. Ticketing you're probably not going to use, and the chat window gives the ability to chat with the client. I'm not going to spend time on that either. All right. So that's pretty much it. One last thing I want to show you is across the top here, you see we have this Kim Win 10, but you have the ability to have multiple tabs open. So if somebody else calls up, or if you need to work on another machine, you can just hit the plus sign. It will basically start a new session for you, and then you'll get presented with the views at the top, the machine group and your view. And you'll have a list of all your machines are going to come up here. So if I need to go, like I was working in the Team Chris group, so it'll bring up those machines. And the Win tab, Chris called me and he needs me to jump on his machine. So here's the Win tab. I can just use these icons. Again, this is the remote control icon right here, so I can very quickly get into a remote control session. I can very quickly transfer files, or if I have more things, there's the rest of it right there. And then this is the asset summary screen that we were there. So boom, I want a remote, and I want to do a shared session with Chris, and so it's going to connect to that endpoint, and it's going to run the remote control session, and there we go. And if I've got another one, I can just keep doing this all day long, right? So you can have multiple tabs and be able to flip back and forth between the different machines as you work on it. So all right. Anyway, I hope this gave you a good enough explanation on the new Live Connect. I did mention one thing. Let me close out of this. I did mention that you do have the ability to run this as a standalone product. So I can't really show you because it's on my other screen, but if I go to my start menu, I have a product called Kaseya Live Connect. So I'm going to just simply click on that. And when I do that, I'm going to get presented with this little starter box. It says Manage Servers. So what you would do is you would go in here and you would add your server. So it would be whatever server you're using. If you're on SAS, it would be the SAS SAS2-CDN-Kaseya.net or 2916. If you're on our servers, it might be K2 or VA4. Put the name of the server in there, save it, and then what you'll do is you'll simply launch it. And when you hit launch, you're going to get that screen come up, but it's going to ask you to log in. So you'll just log in using your normal credentials, but you won't. But you'll be able to do that without ever really logging into Kaseya itself. So your help desk people could actually just work from this application all day long and not have to log into Kaseya and flip between the menus. So anyway, I think that's pretty neat. I hope you guys do too. If you have any questions, problems, anything happens, feel free to reach out to me directly if you need, they're kind of how-to questions. If you run into some bugs, take some screenshots, open up a ticket, and this is the first release of this, so I'm sure they'll continue to make improvements and bug fixes and whatever. But right now it seems to be pretty stable. So anyway. All right, stay tuned, and we're going to talk about antivirus. All right, so I want to just give you a quick overview on the KAV and the KAM changes. I'm actually going to combine this into one session because there's really not a lot to talk about right now. All right, so what, for those of you that have used the Kaspersky antivirus, you probably have experienced some of the issues that, over the years. Kaspersky in and of itself is a pretty good product. We use it ourselves on the Network Depot side. There have been some challenges in getting that product to communicate with the K server. In the background, there's a bunch of these Lua scripts that ran. Sometimes they would get out of whack or just simply not work, and so we would get mismatches of information. It would say we might get an error saying that a scan's not running, or we may get saying the profile's out of date, or even that the licensing is out of date. And when you go and you logged into the endpoint, you actually realize everything's running okay, and it was just a communication failure. So what Kaseya has done is they have completely rewritten the module to use this new endpoint fabric that they've developed that will become standard on the systems. That endpoint fabric is installed with the upgrade, the agent update. So when we talk about this KAV and being able to move things between, none of that will work if you don't have the agent updated. If you're on our servers, we've probably done that for you. If you're on Kaseya servers, you may need to do that yourself, although there is an automated function now that will update endpoints automatically, so that's really great. So anyway, let's get in and let's just look at that real quick. All right, so on the tab, when you click on the agent tab here, hang on, let me make this screen bigger for you again. You're going to see two different modules, an anti-malware and an anti-malware classic, and an antivirus and an antivirus classic, okay? The new stuff is the non-classic. The old stuff is the classic. If you look at the menu, so let's pull up the classic antivirus first. There's really not much difference. If you go to regular antivirus, there's really not much difference there, okay? So here's the thing, and this is why I combine these modules, because there's really nothing different about what you're going to do. Everything still works pretty much the same. Most of the changes are being done on the back end, and what Kaseya didn't want to do was to come out with this new module and then force everybody to somehow update to like just automatically start pushing out antivirus updates, right? That would be probably disastrous. So I think they took the right approach and made it so that your classic antivirus is the same thing that you have today. Everything that's there is there. If you've got machines set up on there, great, right? And you can keep using that. I mean, there's no end date. Nobody said, oh, we're going to take this away in the next release. But at some point, to improve the reliability, you're going to want to install the new antivirus or use the new antivirus module. And basically to do that, and we'll send out some more information. I don't want to get too deep into it here, but here's the general consensus, I guess, if you will, on what will happen. If you have the latest and greatest Kaspersky installed, that would be the 10.2.4, okay, then you simply will go to that machine and you will say install. In fact, you're not going to, I mean, you're going to do it from this side, right? So you're going to go and you're going to say install, and you're going to, first you're going to create a profile, by the way. You have to create profile, and it will go out there, it will grab it, and it will now be in the new module, and it'll take it away from the old module, okay? And that process for the new stuff, I think when I tested it, it was like 30 seconds to a minute to do it, because it doesn't install anything, right? This is the 10.2.4674, so anything 10.2.4. If you have 10.2.1, then you are going to have to, you can still do the same thing, click the install and everything, but it's going to go out and uninstall the old and install the new, okay? And it will probably do a reboot as part of that. So if you have the old version of Kaspersky, you will want to make sure you schedule this appropriately. All right, and then the last version is the old version 6. If you have any of those out there, you have no choice but to uninstall them manually, and then install the new stuff, or use this to install the new stuff. Okay, so there's really, again, there's just not that much different from the user interface. There's a new, kind of new profile set up here. You've got a few more options that you can choose from. One thing that we have noticed is that if you have there's no migration of profiles between the two. So you have to pick one of these default profiles, make a copy of it, name it with your company name, and then make the change, make your own changes, and to do what you want to do. If you had a lot of exclusions, there's no copy, so you have to re-enter the exclusions. If you really have a profile that has a lot of exclusions, schedule some time on my calendar. We wrote a little bot, we call it, that will go out there and will take all your exclusions, dump them out to a text file, so that you can there very quickly copy and paste them back into the other side. We don't completely automate it for you, but we make it a little bit easier so you don't have to do them one by one. Okay. That's about it. Again, this is just what's new. It's not meant to be a tutorial on how to install Kaspersky. So if you have any questions, feel free. The anti-malware is pretty much the same thing. Go to the anti-malware module and just pull, just reinstall from this module to the new module. Again, as long as you're up to date, that should be a no problem. Malwarebytes hasn't been as big a problem to uninstall and reinstall anyway, so I don't expect that you'll experience any problems. But if you do, just open a ticket at help@virtualadministrator.com. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this quick summary. If you have any questions, please let us know, and enjoy. Thanks for taking the time to go through these. Have a great day.